'em up, lay it down just like Matt and Mari. Wrestling liver RHAPUp's gonna make it sorry. Feeling like The Rock cause I'm driving in Ferraris. And we coming every weekend, it's feeling like a party. Will Ric Flair, huh? Showing out like Bianca Belair, huh? Best podcast, flush it in the air, huh? Roman Reigns and we win it, don't care, huh? No cap. Throw 'em up, lay it down just like Matt and Mari. Wrestling liver RHAPUp's gonna make it sorry. Feeling like The Rock cause I'm driving in Ferraris. And we coming every weekend, it's feeling like a party.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Wrestling RHAPUp podcast. I'm your host, Mari Forth, and with me, as sometimes, because we're both sometimes here.
Yeah, okay.
My co-host, my tag team partner, Mr. Matt Scott. Matt, how are you?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here with you. How are you?
Yeah, so I'm consistently up at 3 a.m. with a newborn like every night. So
yeah. We could podcast at 3 a.m. Like just bring her in, make it a thing.
I don't know if they'll be able to hear us over the screaming and the crying, but
But I feel like, honestly, like some people, I'm sure some of our listeners will find that very endearing.
Yeah.
And cute. Maybe you won't as much, but it's like, oh, look at the baby being a baby. Like, oh, look at that.
Yes. We are back.
We are
for how long? We don't know.
Well, I mean, we're not back. Though.
We're not back.
Here. We're here.
We're here. That's a great yes. We're still here. Yes.
We know wrestling. We love wrestling. We're still figuring it out, but we're here right now.
Yes.
So soak it in.
Sometimes life changes necessitate adaptation. So
okay,
there we go. Mm-hmm. There we go. Thank you to everyone who are congratulating me. So it's really my thought process, Matt. We're workshopping this right here on the stream, live and in color. Yes. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Ari Ferrari, amazing guest. I think, at least for the next couple months, while stuff is still
stuffing.
Yes. I also have a 5-year-old that is about to start school in 3 weeks, kindergarten for the first time. So
oh my gosh.
There's a lot going on,
That's an experience.
It is. I personally decided that as soon as I was about to push one kid up a milestone, I decided to have another one. That was my fault.
You're gonna say as soon as you decide to push one kid out of the nest, I'm like, damn, he's 5.
It to quote R-Truth, my bad, that's on me.
I feel like my sister, who actually, so I have a nephew who just turned 2 like literally a few days ago, but also my other nephew's 5, almost 6, and it was a similar thing where she's like, okay, like I'm sending him off to school, like he's almost a human,
he's pretty independent.
And then she's like, oh, here's another one, and so
let's start all over again. Yes, exactly. But other than that,
the problem is like with him going to kindergarten, like he can't actually, like you need him to like raise your daughter for you. So.
No, I don't. Not at 5.
Make it easy.
We're doing good. We are all doing good. Me, my kids, my husband. Mm-hmm. We're all doing good. We're just adjusting. It's an adjustment period. So I think for at least for the next few months or so, I think we can definitely pop on for the PLEs at the very least. And if not on a weekly basis, but we can definitely pop in for the PLEs. It's not just on me. So Matt, tell these people how you've been just like globetrotting and living your best life.
Okay, wait, no, that's not true. Okay, look, here's my thing. I've been on maternity leave. because
Oh, okay.
but
Moral
no, I
support
just
maternity
yeah,
leave.
moral support. I felt the contractions when you were in real time with you. But no, it's I just feel like whenever we're not podcasting, like I'm like, oh, let me like focus more on my work and everything else. But I will
Right.
say, so I was like really busy going into the end of June, and then I actually had 3 weeks off from work, which like I've never done ever before
Mm-hmm.
in July. And like honestly, I could do that because I haven't been taking time off. So I had the days saved up. But I was in Amsterdam for like about
Yeah.
10 days out of it. And then I was back in DC, and then I was in Jersey visiting family at a wedding and all. And so I've been around, but now I feel like Mari, like as of at the end of last week, I've been like adjusting back into work. And so when I saw SummerSlam come up, like in my mind, it was like, Mari, like let's like recap it the day after, but I did not have it in me. So.
Same. I did too. It's so funny because I was like, yeah, like it's so funny because like when you're watching it and you're kind of like invigorated, you're like, yes, let's recap it. Let's get on the podcast. And then like the minute it's over and yet life be lifing,
Mhm.
we thought about it. We tried and then we were like, no. Like we just we
But
can't.
like, you know what? Like it's cool. It's fun because like so it's so funny because when you were behind the scenes, when you were messaging me,
Mhm.
you were like, "Oh, let's go on live like we did for Money in the Bank." I'm like, Mari, I didn't tell you this, but like we didn't do that for Money in the Bank.
I cannot
We didn't
remember.
recap it at all. I mean, I'm sure you realize that now, but like
Oh yeah.
we have not been on since after Mania, and then we did do a
We
crime
we
scene
didn't do
around
Money in the
then though.
Bank? I thought we
No,
did
we
do
did
Money in the
we did
Bank.
I think we did crime scene, like, right around
Did we do
we did
Clash
it,
at the
like,
Castle?
nope.
Oh my
We
god.
haven't done we haven't done
I
anything.
truly thought we thought
And
this
you know what?
is like
I'm happy to
pregnancy
get
brain
credit.
scrambled.
I'm happy to get credit for something that I didn't do, that we didn't
That
do.
actually makes sense now.
I'm happy for you to give yourself credit for
When I
something
went
we
to do
didn't
my notes and it was just WrestleMania, I was like, "Where did the Money in the Bank notes go?"
Wow.
Like that,
Yeah,
yes.
well, you know
I
what,
don't
though?
know what
It's like
day it is, y'all. Like I do not know what day it is
Saturday.
because it is like
It's
it
usually
is.
gonna be a Saturday when we podcast
Yes, I
together, so it's
know,
good to
but
know.
I'm normally up, we are fighting for our good lives over here with a 3-month-old. So
You know
it's
what? Yeah, it's a lot, and the thing is, like, wrestling doesn't stop, like, it just goes on
exactly.
forever and
Mhm.
ever, and it's not like watching a thing and then talking about it, or, there's no season finale, so
Right.
it's a lot. But you know what?
Yeah.
Just big shout out to Grace Leader, especially because I
Yes.
feel like with the Wrestling RHAPup Wrestling Federation, which I feel like we need like a logo for and everything.
That's so
Maybe
cool,
an
yeah.
AI generated title belt would be nice
Yes.
for that.
Ooh,
But
yeah.
like we have been I don't know. I just feel like everyone's been so like active, and we've been able to hear from people, and there's been some drama. I mean,
I
in
know.
terms of like who's winning and who's not winning, mostly me losing. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's been cool to hear from people while we've been out, and just big shout to Grace for keeping the energy and the momentum going.
Yes. We will do the results of the WRWF at the end of the episode. I have a call
Oh,
out to do. I gotta call out. I gotta isolate and promo and call some people out.
oh my
Um,
God.
but other than that, uh yeah, it's been great. Like
Messy.
we want to thank everybody on the Facebook group, everybody on YouTube, everybody who's been wondering where we're at. We're good. We're just again, life be lifing, and we're gonna try and get you this content when we can. Um, and then because my thought process at the very least, we haven't talked to Rob or anybody about this, but like at the very at the very least, like I
Yeah.
want like I want to try and like maybe get stuff out for the PLEs, and then
Mhm.
once the road to WrestleMania comes around, we're back at it, like we normally are.
Yeah. I
Hmm.
agree. And it's also cool. Like, it's good to step back from anything. Mari, we haven't talked about this, so I'll be vague about this. But in my mind, I'm like, what could we do to spice, like, is there anything we can do to spice up what we're doing? Like, you know, our relationship, it's good. Like we have a healthy relationship. Like we don't need to go to like podcast couples therapy
Oh
yet.
no.
But I do feel like in my mind, I'm like, ooh, but like, is there anything we could do to just like sprinkle in a little edible glitter for our
Oh God.
listeners?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Wait,
know
sorry.
that.
Just I'm
Not the
just like
Big
in
Brother
the
reference.
chat. Chappelle here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chappelle has a lot of nerve because he knows why I'm dreaming up podcasts because I'm too busy podcasting with his ass every damn week.
I know. You know what though? But Chappelle's here with us. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why Chappelle isn't on the podcast right now. He's just in the chat. But you know what? Fine. That's not an invitation, Chappelle, to join.
All right, we got we gotta actually talk about wrestling because people ask us to talk about wrestling. Like I
Wait,
know,
really?
yeah,
Oh.
wrestling, yeah, wrestling.
Wait, we're live?
We are live. We are live
Oh.
right now. Just some quick news. Since we've been gone. Of course, we've been keeping an eye out over for our one person that we love over there on AEW. Mercedes Moné. Yes. Okay, I was being shady, but her program, her program with DMD with Britt Baker is actually very entertaining. It's the first like really entertaining thing that she's gotten into, mostly because I think it's because Mercedes is a heel now in this feud. I loved her Willow Nightingale feud and everything like that, but Willow is just so good, and they were kind of presenting it like two faces that it didn't really like resonate, but her and this Britt Baker storyline is very good. Just because we got like old school Mercedes back, like her IG lives of her just going off on Britt Baker are stunning. And then Britt Baker was some real like backstage she got into it with MJF's girlfriend.
Yeah. And MJF. Like I was trying to wrap my head around this story. I don't know how much truly came out about it. I just know there was an argument and a verbal confrontation.
Yeah. So
but do you know anything else about what happened?
No. Well, from what I understand, Britt said something about MJF in the locker room just in general, and then his girlfriend went and snitched, and then MJF confronted Britt Baker, and then Britt Baker got suspended. I was like,
what did she?
I don't know.
What came out of her mouth? Like, I really want to know.
I don't know, but it was Mercedes' reaction to her getting suspended was quite hilarious. Mercedes has been doing like subscriber only Instagram lives where she's basically like cutting promos on people. Some of the clips do make it to Twitter for free. I do be watching them for free. I will try once I get the funds the way my bank accounts. Anyways,
your
I might
CEO
yeah, right, because she give me money so I can give it back to her. I do want to like subscribe to those because they have been really good, but like this real drama, I don't know, man. I'm definitely gonna probably watch All In again. If I get a link somewhere, I'm gonna watch. If I get a link, I'm gonna watch All In. So excited about that. But I said all that to say, Mercedes announced that her and her husband Sarah they're officially like divorced now. Not only that, they've been separated for 4 years. They've been separated since December 2020.
That's wild. And we did talk about before. We're like, do we want to talk about, do we not? But I think the thing that she put it out there. But also I think that it's interesting. Like you said, Mari, they have been separated for almost 4 years. And one of the things that she spoke about in the interview that she did, where she was talking about, or where she just revealed all this, was the fact that like she was going into the storyline with Bianca at Mania, and there was also Reggie in that storyline, and WWE, and Vince McMahon, wanted, and they kind of did tease a little bit of like chemistry between Reggie and Sasha or something. It was weird. But anyway, like she didn't want to reveal it because she didn't want to like mess up the storyline. And also I just feel like, like it's hard to reveal anyway. But
and we'll
it's sad
talk
that
about
she had
some
to
love
keep that hidden.
storylines too.
Yeah, that's I mean, especially under
I
the
mean,
previous chairman, those are freaky and weird, but that's another topic.
honestly, I think it made sense to keep it hidden because like her marriage has always gotten unnecessary flack, even when they were doing good. So I can only imagine wanting to keep that to yourself, and she has the right to it. I think the only reason why we're talking about it now is because not only was it announced, but she went on and she did an interview talking about it. And she's been doing a lot of interviews. So that's what I'm telling everybody, go listen to that interview. Like, go hear it from her. Like, I love that she's being more open with us.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. Like, we're so used to her, like, just being quiet, letting the narratives go. She acts so above the sports journalist, the wrestling sports journalist and stuff, and she normally is just like doesn't give them any heed. But I like that now. I guess AEW is giving her the freedom to really engage more with the audience, with whatever she wants. So I love that, and I'm glad she like set the record straight.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it's like AEW, but also her, knowing her power. Because I feel like if she were in WWE again, like now, she would have corrected for, I feel like, a lot of the issues that existed before. Like, she was able to step back, and she's, the CEO gimmick. But one thing I appreciate that I just want to mention with her is her Instagram. We've already brought it up, but like, she has all these like cute Instagram reels where she's just doing different CEO things, and it's not even like a gimmick, it's just her living her life. But it's very fascinating to me to see her just being so open and documenting and sharing so much of all of it. So like, check that out, Mercedes Moné on Instagram, because there was her in this freaking, I'm pulling it up now, but there was her in this. Mari, did you see her in this monkey suit? Let me click it and not play the audio if I can. But
that's so funny.
It was a whole. Oh no, not the copyright strike.
We're live. I know.
I don't think I don't know if she's offering out like dealing out copyright strikes for Instagram.
I don't know either, but
let's hope not.
But yeah, that it's great. Love following her over there.
Side note, I don't think this is documented, but I am seeing in the comments, Sarah. Do you see that? What she said?
So funny. Yeah.
Yeah. So Britt was calling people names. Not confirmed. I'm just saying. But
I'm on Team Britt Baker.
I have heard that's not the first time that there's been stuff like that with Britt Baker, getting into it, people behind the scenes. I don't know why I want to say like Thunder Rosa was also.
But MJF but Thunder Rosa also has
stuff.
Anyway,
I will also say with I was just thinking about it from like a professional perspective, and Britt Baker is, a dentist, a professional academic woman, like all of it. She's in her 30s. MJF is like still in his, like, there's a little bit of like an age difference, and I just I want her to like separate from MJF and like not.
But she was minding her business, talking junk about MJF in the women's locker room. I mean, come on.
MJF. Britt had beef with Brandy Rhodes, apparently. Sarah's the Sean Ross Sapp of our podcast.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
I'm not. I mean, like it's whatever. Like, I don't care about being in people's locker rooms. I just find it weird that like MJF confronted her. Like, yeah, sir, you're a man. Like, why are you confronting women over like rumors or girl talk? Like,
why don't they have footage of it? They had the Young Bucks.
They had all of that
other, all of the brawling footage, but they can't have this. Oh my god. Tony Khan, release the tapes. Let's release the tapes. Anyway, we need see again. This is us like avoiding talking about the actual wrestling.
So rumors. There have been rumors floating around that WWE is coming very close to debuting new women's US title and a women's intercontinental title. I think Matt has a picture. There's an AI art generated titles going around. It's only been confirmed by one news source, PWN. So that's why we're like, this is a rumor. I mean, the AI art looks cool. That's pretty cool.
Sure. Yeah, we thought it was real until we didn't. So
the reason why I was like, it gave me pause is because this was quote unquote semi-announced via this news network, PWN News, back in around Money in the Bank, like early July or something like that. And it's like, and it's not been mentioned on TV. There's been no hint of it. Maybe it's because SummerSlam just finished, but like, I don't know. The biggest thing is I like this idea. We've been talking about women's mid-card titles for forever. Like, I like the idea of it. You know, if it's booked right, booked well.
Yeah, I like the idea of it. I don't know if I mean, I'm curious of your thoughts on this, Mari. Like, do you think that it should be like women's United States Championship, women's Intercontinental Championship, or do you think that they should just make new titles with new names for the women's mid card?
Oh, that's a great question. I have no problem with it being like the women's United States Championship or the women's Intercontinental Champion. I think because the last time they just pulled something out of their ass, we got the Universal Championship. Like, what the fuck does that mean? So, like, I'm okay with it just being a women's version of the United States Championship or the women's version of the Intercontinental Championship. Just like how on NXT they have the women's NXT North American title. So I like that. I'm fine with it. I think more what I'm thinking about is, how are we booking this? Why are we bringing it out? Are we bringing it out just to pacify some of the bigger talent that aren't getting shots at the big title? Like I if they do this, I want them to go back to the old system of how like the wrestle, like the ladder system, like the girls work up to, you know, they get the Intercontinental or the US first, they get a run with that, then they work up to the world title or the women's championship title, like, you know what I'm saying, like how it was back in the day, how it was with guy Gunther. Like, you could tell Gunther brought that back. So like that's what I would want if we're gonna do it. I don't want you to just debut these so you can put these titles on already established stars because you're keeping the main title from them. Like, to me, it automatically screams to me, it's like, oh, you want to give these belts to like a Naomi or a Bianca Belair or a Jade while they can't go for the big title. Like, we saw Jade be saddled with the TBS title for so long in AEW to never get the big belt. Like, I don't really want to see that. I think Tiffany Stratton would have been the perfect person to debut like a women's Intercontinental Championship belt on, or a US women's title on, like since she just came up. So I have no problem with that. I think that would be fun.
And I like the challenge that would put on WWE, because then you need to book more of the women. Like, then you need to put that championship in segments, or you know, then it kind of flops, right? So I like that it does add a little pressure to them to like actually book it, because as we saw with SummerSlam, like all of the matches but one of them were title matches, and the one match that wasn't a title match was a big like blood feud match. And so I'm hopeful. Then again, like we have seen, I'll give the tag titles as an example, like where are those sometimes, you know, like, are those being booked? That's a whole other conversation, but I don't know. I like it. Like, why not give them more opportunities?
Okay, so that's it for the news. Just remember, if you haven't already, please go to subscribe to the Wrestling RHAPup podcast over on our new YouTube page, youtube.com/@Wrestling RHAPup. That's youtube.com/@Wrestling RHAPUP. RHAP. Also, you can follow us over on the robhasawebsite.com/wrestling feed. You can subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. We're having lots of fun. If you want to come join us in our Facebook group where the WRWF championship federation thingy, all that stuff goes down, you can join the Job Has a Squadcast Facebook group. We're actually streaming live to there right now, having so much fun. So, come interact with us. We tip our toes in, but it's as fun as everybody makes it. And let's just get to the highlights of the week. Of course, the highlights of the week and everything we talked about and all these clips can be found in our handy dandy playlist that you can find in the show notes or show description. Not right now, because we're doing this live, but Matt'll figure that out.
Yeah, and the playlist, like you could find the playlist right now under the it's somewhere, maybe you'll find it. You'll find it if you're looking for it.
It's here. It's there. We got to talk about our reactions to SummerSlam. That's what we're here for. We're here to talk about SummerSlam and all the fallout and all of that good stuff. So, Matt, your overall thoughts of SummerSlam?
I thought that SummerSlam was just a really great show overall. Like, I had my high points, and we'll get into it as we go along. But I mean, I was a fan because, again, I feel like, and I'm kind of hoping that they get rid of the Night of Champions concept, but I really like that they had all of the champions featured, so it made sense. Like, yeah, there were maybe only like 14. I think there were technically, because it was all singles matches, like 14 wrestlers on the show. So, and then Seth, so like 15, and then others making their little cameos. But I enjoyed it. I felt like it felt prestigious. It felt big. It felt like a good, like, since we were talking about Mania a few months back, this felt like a good continuation of that, and the momentum's still going. And the stories that were there, I mean, there's just a lot of good storytelling, no true low points. Like, certain matches that shouldn't have been that long weren't that long. So I didn't have any complaints, and I didn't like get bored at any point as this went along.
So first of all, how many years has it been where like SummerSlam has been this early in August? Like, something about it being like the first week of August, especially so close after Money in the Bank. Like, I guess it's all still a month away, but the shifting of it being to the beginning of the month as opposed to like the end of the month, it's very jarring as somebody who's been watching wrestling for like 20 plus years. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm so used to like, it's that feeling of like, okay, the chapter is closed, the month has ended, so we get the monthly PLE at the end. But we've been seeing in this, especially in the summer months, they've been bookending. They've been like trying to jam pack so many premium live events that like for instance, the next one is the Bash in Berlin or whatever is in like 3 weeks. So it's in the same month. It's in the same month as SummerSlam. So to me, I don't know why in my lizard brain it just doesn't make SummerSlam feel prestigious, because to me, SummerSlam has always represented like the end of the summer storylines, like the biggest bash, like it, like I don't know, it really, it didn't feel, SummerSlam didn't feel as big to me. And then I don't know if it's just because it was in Cleveland.
Not our Cleveland listeners being upset, canceling you. But no, like you're right though, because I just pulled up the Wikipedia page for SummerSlam, and like the first ever SummerSlam is like August 29th. A lot of them were like late August, like in the 20s. And then really, Mari, the last time they did later August was 2021, and it was August 21st. And then after that, 2022, it was July 30th, which I'm like,
yeah, I remember that. I was like, what?
And then last year was August 5th. This year, August 3rd. Next year, they haven't announced, but weirdly, they haven't announced next year, but they announced 2026 in Minneapolis. Yeah, which they can't stop talking about. But that's August 1st and 2nd.
Minneapolis over with the WrestleMania.
You know what though? No, Minneapolis. The PSA. I love Minneapolis. It's a lovely place, but like, you don't want to be there when it's snowing. Come on, what are we doing? Minneapolis is snowing like 8 months out of the year, almost.
Right.
Almost, basically, literally. So,
and then like we said, we were freezing in Philly. So I don't know.
Us.
Yeah.
Torture us.
But yeah, so it just feels weird that it's so early. I don't know. But that being said, I did like it, and it was kind of funny because it being early, I was like, it feels like it snuck up on me. I was like, wait a minute, SummerSlam is tomorrow. Like, it just so happened we were lucky. We were grilling, we had people over, it was fun. But it was just like, it felt like it came way too quickly. It felt like it came way too quickly.
Yeah.
And that's what as me, as somebody like dipping my toe like in wrestling, like maybe it's because we're not doing weekly coverage that it feels quick. I don't know, but
yeah, no, and we definitely haven't been, either of us, I'm sure, as like, because we're used to watching week to week, like breaking it down, like we get all of the subtlety, we talk about every little thing, and it just kind of showed up. But I will say, like, as someone who definitely, like, like, we're keeping up with what's happening,
right,
generally, I feel like their PLEs have been really good because they've been continuations of different stories. Like for Money in the Bank, for example, we saw Bron and Sami and how that ended with Sami winning. Obviously, there's the rematch here at SummerSlam. And so I like that they're not going too fast for us to keep up with what's happening.
Yeah, I definitely feel like the product overall has been really, really good.
Which is funny because we haven't been covering it, but it has been really good. And yeah, it's fun. There are a lot of good stuff. We won't get into it, but I'm sure there's a lot of good stuff that we would have loved to talk about. But wrestling keeps up the momentum. It's good. So, Mari, do you want to get into the
into
details?
SummerSlam? Yeah,
like 32 minutes in. Let's talk about
wrestling. I would say my favorite match from SummerSlam had to be the Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley match because of course I love women's wrestling. And unfortunately, my main girls weren't on the match, but it's fine. Weren't on the card. It's okay. It's whatever. It's fine. But what I love about this Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley storyline, it's like, it's so real. It's so visceral. It's a storyline they've been building up for what feels like a year now. I mean, going back to before, like when Liv Morgan was injured and stuff like this, and Liv Morgan being the champion, and like them pivoting, right? Them pivoting when Rhea got injured. Think about this. This might not have been the storyline if Rhea didn't get injured at WrestleMania. Because remember, remember
so
Rhea beat Becky at WrestleMania. They did a thing where Liv Morgan attacked Rhea. Still to be determined if she actually got injured during that attack. Because they were saying that she was probably nursing an injury before that.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure we talked about the fact that she was like maybe already injured. And I think you might have brought that up. I'll give you credit for this because I don't really remember, but you might have brought it up and I was like, oh, okay. And then we saw her actually have that angle with Liv and then be taken out. So
yes,
I do believe she was injured before that actual segment.
I do too.
And then she needed off.
I do too. But they still did not know what they were going to do because remember, they took the belt off of Rhea and they had that battle royal and put it back on Becky. So I feel like if they, they only put it on Becky until Liv won it at, where did she win it? Was it Money in the Bank or no, the Backlash.
Yeah. And you know what? It was, and also it's great because I mean, So it was weird that they decided to do a battle royal to crown the champion, which I
Exactly.
did enjoy. Like, I did enjoy that battle royal. The thing I think I love the most about it, especially in retrospect, but even at the time, is the fact that Liv lost, because that's just her
Mhm,
thing. She can't win a battle royal. She can't win
mhm.
a Royal Rumble, but she's always the runner up, like
Yep.
always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Like
Mhm.
I like the story there. And it was weird though, because a lot of people were like, why didn't you give it to Becky at Mania? Like, no, people, be calm, be patient.
Yeah,
We're
be
gonna get a
calm.
good story here. So yeah,
Yeah,
backlash. And then Liv has kind of been in this mode of like, I mean, now she's a full-on heel, but
it's so
at the time
good.
it was mixed. It's so good.
This
And it's
storyline is so good.
I
Like,
know.
Liv Morgan trying to seduce Dom has, like, literally been one of my favorite storylines on Raw. The only thing I find unfortunate about the storyline is that
Oh no.
I can't keep kayfabe, like, I know too much about these people's lives, you know what I'm saying? I wish I was 'cause I say
Come
it
on,
every
Mari.
time, my favorite storyline is Trish and Jericho, and then Trish turning on Jericho.
Yeah.
That's my favorite love
Right.
story storyline. Yeah,
Jericho,
because
Trish, Mania
as
20.
a 10-year-old, I
Mhm.
did not know these people's lives, and I was like, "Wow, this is crazy, they're really in love, and now she's turning on him." And, like, knowing, you know, that, Dom's engaged and, Liv they're not really dating, and he's not even really dating
Sure.
he wasn't really dating Rhea, like
What? No, I'm just
I know.
kidding.
Knowing all of that, like, it kind it can't, you can't fully give into it, but it's so good because this whole back and forth is how long was Dom really helping Liv? I think I sent you a thread. There was a thread on Twitter that
Oh
like,
no.
the Twitter threads of investigation have been so good.
No,
Like,
I hate it. I had to get
somebody did
away.
a
I don't
whole Twitter thread about when they, like, saw Liv in the background and,
Okay,
"Oh, Dom's here," and
let me
it
tell
was
you
so
something.
good.
Like, I for a while, like for about a month, I had in my algorithm for whatever reason, it was giving me all of the like, here's why we know that Liv is gonna become part of Judgment Day, or like it was always just those
Mhm,
threads that random people, because it was never the same people. Like random people would do breaking down all the
mhm,
things. I'm sure that's still a thing. It just I got it out of my algorithm, but yeah, people have clocked this for a long time. And Mari, just
mhm.
to the point that you're bringing up around like real life versus kayfabe, like tell me, look at these photos of these people. Like, look
It's
at
so
how they
good.
look at each other, Dom and Lit. I mean, this is not
Acting
a good photo
down.
of either of them. But no,
I
it
think,
is
like,
hilarious because it's even more I don't know if it's cringe, but it's just like hits you harder when you know that they're not really together
yeah,
because they're
but
really committing to it.
exactly. I think it's like, Sarah's comment in the chat there, if you wanna pull it up. Um, it really truly is like a soap opera in wrestling,
Mm,
and
yeah.
honestly, it's very fun, and they're committing to the bit, like, again, if I didn't know that these people had other people, I'd be like, "Oh my god, that's kinda hot." Like, they were like, kissing and making out at SummerSlam,
I
and,
mean, you don't know. Okay, let me just put it like this. Like,
I
I don't want
don't
to
do
go
it
there.
because I know
I,
it
I, I
happens
don't
all
want
the
to, I'm not
time.
going to go
Don't do it.
anywhere specifically. I'm just going to bring up the fact that, as our dear friend Chappelle also knows, some of these people, like Damian Priest and maybe other people formerly involved in the company, they go places. They get freaky, Mari. Like, we don't know what they're
Oh my
doing.
god.
Like,
Don't
we don't know
don't
how
you
much
do
of
it.
this is fake.
Yeah,
So,
and then but
actually, I really hope they're not
when
actually
they try to
together because that'd be
include
weird.
Jay into this storyline, I was like, "Okay, you've gone too far. Don't you
Yeah,
if you better back that up. That is a
I'm glad they
happily
cut
married."
that. I'm glad they cut that.
I
Yeah,
know.
no, that didn't feel right. And Jay
Felt
is
so weird.
not. Jay just seems like a deer in headlights in the storyline like this. Like,
That doesn't make sense.
but Dom is great because like I love how they. So I'll just agree with you that like this was my match of the night too, in part because of the story, in part because again of the shades of, Christian versus Chris Jericho, and then Trish
Mhm.
comes in, but Dom in this case was Trish. Like, I love how it kind of turned the dynamic on its head.
Yeah.
I was a little bummed
It
that
was
they didn't
weird.
do, and maybe we will get there, but they need to do like Dom in a shark cage or Dom on a pole
Dom on
and
a
like
pole, man.
compete for him or
They've already
something. I don't know.
did the Dom custody match. They already did that.
Okay, but bring it back. Like, why?
That'd
I
be
think
so
that was
funny.
maybe that was literally 20 years ago this year,
Right.
so they could have done it. Like, the story wasn't there yet, but I love that story so much. And it grew on me because I feel like a lot of people have been down on Liv. Like, yes, she's had massive support and a lot of fans, but I
Right.
think
She's a
even when
massive
she got the
support.
championship, people were like, oh, like,
Because
what
they
kind of
didn't give
champion's
her
Liv?
anything when she was a champion.
You know what? Low
It
key,
was not her
though,
fault.
one of the best things that I feel like has happened over on Raw is Becky, I don't know if we call it retiring, taking a break.
Taking
I
a
guess
break,
no one
yeah.
really knows, but
Mhm.
Becky stepping back, I think, was one of the best things. Cause like, what? We don't need her in the mix right now. Like, I'm happy she has her break.
Mhm.
Or whatever she calls it.
Yeah.
Again, I feel like I saw her mention being retired or a former wrestler, but that's another story.
Yeah,
But
she
Liv is a
I
star.
believe they said she let her contract run out and hasn't
Totally.
resigned. Yeah, but there doesn't feel to be like a danger in her like resigning somewhere else.
No.
It's just like she just take a break, you know.
What was that?
It was a Hamilton
Oh,
reference.
okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. I
Yeah,
like
we're
it.
live. We're live, so we can't
I know.
sing that.
Oh, you can.
No, we'll get copyright.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
It's okay.
I think I agree. Like Becky, she's been holding stuff together for a very long time. She deserves her break. Um, and I agree. Like it's opened up the landscape. The draft has really opened up the landscape.
Mhm.
Liv being the champion over there, and like it just all feels fresh because not only did we get the Liv and Rhea match at SummerSlam, which was really good for a number of we keep going to the soap opera stuff, but it was really good for a number of other reasons. At one point,
Mhm.
they did an injury angle with Rhea where she said her shoulder popped out, which
Dear Lord.
for
Yeah.
like 2 seconds, I was like, is it really popped out? What's going on? Like, I love when they kind of do that, but then I was like, no, it's kayfabe because they're still
Right.
going, they're still
Love to do
going.
the fake dislocated shoulder
Yeah,
angle, I swear. And I'm always amazed how into it people are.
yeah,
And the
it's
thing is
good.
but the part that got me was when she rammed her damn shoulder into the announce table.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't think that's how you do that.
No, I don't think I don't think so. I don't I wouldn't know though. I wouldn't know.
I mean,
So
but it's also kind of cool because it's also kind of like a callback to Finn. Remember when Finn popped his shoulder out
at
for the
SummerSlam.
Universal title? He
Yeah.
actually popped it in and I don't think he did that. I think he just kind of just like
You're
you
telling
know
me he didn't take his dislocated shoulder and ram
and
it
ram it.
into like,
Right. I don't even think that's the right direction if your shoulder is
I don't
dislocated.
think
I
you
think it's
want to
like
do that. Like,
you
yeah,
gotta
you could pop your shoulder back in, but you don't want to like damage it more.
yeah,
I don't
damage it
know.
more. So that was a
Your
good
shoulder
angle.
hurts.
Then the whole Dom like, oh no, don't hit her with the chair, and then kind of setting up the chair for Liv to use
Yeah.
their kiss. It was all really good. But I think what really made it better was later in the night when Damian Priest was going up against Gunther for the God, this is the world championship, right? The men's world
Yeah, it
championship.
was the that
Heavyweight, world
one.
heavyweight
World
championship.
Heavyweight
Yep.
Championship. Yep.
That I was like, I Priest's reign had to run its course. You know what I'm saying? I think I don't want to say we. I had always seen him as like sort of a transitional champion.
Yeah.
I
I
had
think
talked.
yeah. I mean,
Uh,
how do you not?
mhm. Yeah, exactly. Like when he won Money in the Bank. Remember we talked about that, and we were like, okay, he's Money in the Bank. Gotcha.
But he had a good,
And
I feel like he's a transitional champion, but like there are levels to that. Like it could
yes,
be, you could be the transitional
top
champion
tier.
who is there for only, a week or a month,
Mhm.
or you could have it for like a whole segment of the year,
the
which she
cycle.
did.
Yep.
So
WrestleMania to SummerSlam. Yeah.
yeah, I think it's
And his
pretty
cash in was
awesome.
great. His cash in was fun at WrestleMania as well.
Memorable,
Yeah.
really memorable.
So I think they really did a good job with this run. And I like that now. I'm like, oh, thank God we're finally revisiting the storyline that I was talking about a year ago.
Isn't that
Because
crazy?
isn't
Yeah,
that crazy? Like, don't you
a
love like
whole
long-term
year.
storytelling? Where Finn Balor cost Damian Priest the belt because Damian Priest cost Finn Balor the belt.
But
When
so doesn't it feel so much better when it's like the slow burn of like we see it coming and you know it's gonna happen? Because like everyone's gonna, all of these people are breaking up one way or the other one day. But when they take their time with it, and when now it's a thing, because I was just thinking about this with these two, like, oh wow, like it goes back a year, and it probably even goes back even further. Like that's another thing I love about a bunch of different storylines, but I'll just mention like the Drew Punk Seth stuff, where these people are referencing stuff from like decades ago, basically
they
here
are,
and there,
yeah.
and it just makes it that much better. But the fact that they planted the seeds and built it, and we know this is Triple H's vision, like this is what he built, so it's so great.
It's so good.
Great.
Because I
Yeah.
was so mad at the time. I was like, this Finn Balor Seth Rollins storyline is A1. It's so good. This storyline about Finn wanting to take back the title that Seth had stolen. I said time and time again, I love that storyline more than them building up the Judgment Day at the time. And Seth just constantly kept losing to Seth. I mean, sorry.
Finn kept
kept
constantly
losing
to
with
Seth.
Seth.
Yeah.
And right when he's on the cusp of finally winning, because he was battling Seth before Money in the Bank, and then he got his last chance after Money in the Bank at SummerSlam, and Damian Priest comes out and inadvertently costs him the championship. I was like, oh, I hated it. You know what I'm saying? And then for the longest, they teased tension between Finn and Damian. And so we're like, oh, are they gonna, break up soon? But they did a really good job of taking their foot off the gas to the point where we're like, oh, okay, so they're good again. They're good now. They introduced JD. They have the stuff with R-Truth. Now Carlito's here. And again, if you go back to that thread, that thread talks about every time that like Rhea and Damian bullied the other members of the Judgment Day, and it was just so good. Like once you put it all together, because once Finn cost Damian that belt, not only does Gunther rightfully so get the big belt, which can't wait to see that run. But now Damian Priest is a massive babyface, which is like felt like that came out of nowhere to me. I was like, oh okay, the crowd the crowd's behind you. Okay, I thought you were a bad guy 2 seconds ago, but sure.
Yeah, you know what though? But he's kind of been baby facing a little bit, like within since he became champ. Like he's been the courageous leader.
Yeah,
and then Rhea's out, so then he has to take over her responsibilities as a leader. I think that was also another cool thing, that it felt like there was the tension of like who's the real leader, which didn't even really matter. And again, thankful that she was out, because then we got away from that tension. Like it didn't need to be those two versus each other. Instead, now they're together as leaders doing their own thing, and they don't need any of those other
and Priest said it. Yeah, Priest said I don't need Judgment Day, they need me. And Finn took that personally, you know what I'm saying? And I thought this was such a creative way, because if you guys remember, Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley debuted in the original Judgment Day, which was like what 2 years ago, like 3 years ago.
If you told me it was 3 years ago, I would believe it.
Yeah, I think it was at least 2. It was definitely at least 2 years ago. With Edge. So like they had been in this stable for so long, and then finally they Finn comes along, and they get Dom, and then now they have these new. So I thought this was a great way to pivot, like Rhea and Priest. It's like it's time for them to kind of like go out away from the gimmick, especially now that they're baby faces. So I thought this was a great way to transition Rhea and Damian out, while also still keeping the Judgment Day, because the Judgment Day it's been a massive portion of Raw for a year plus now, and it still works. With Dom is now, like Sarah said in the chat, he's a double heel now. Like, people hated Dom before, they hate him even more now.
Yeah.
So
it's awesome.
It's great. So now you have you still have the Judgment Day where they still have heat, and they gave this great promo on Raw where Finn talked about, like, you know, why they had to kick out Damian and Rhea, and you get the still of the new Judgment Day, which is Finn and Liv and Dominic and then Carlito and JD's still here. And it was a very cool segment. Unfortunately, I did hate that later in the night they made them come out, and then they got they all got like flattened by Rhea and Dominic. See, that's why I call him Priest.
Damian.
Yeah.
Priest,
because the names are too quick. And then they come out and get flattened by Priest and Rhea. I didn't like that. I'm like, come on, man. Like, y'all just did a really cool promo and reestablished yourselves as like a really cool heel faction, and then they get laid out, you know?
You know, they did and they didn't, though, because like half of them did, but then Dom and Liv still were able to escape. So in my mind, like, they, you know, Dom and Liv are the main rat heels out of it.
Yes.
So I mean, it is weird though when you see, I mean, because Rhea wasn't out there from the beginning. Like, you see Priest basically take out all of Judgment Day, and then Liv and Dom are attacking, and then Rhea comes out, and so, you know what, like, Priest is a big guy and he was pissed. So I hope they find ways to protect Judgment Day, though. I hope it's not like Damage Control where they were just constantly getting their asses kicked and handed to them, right? But you know what? I will say, biggest kudos about the Judgment Day storyline go to the fact that, like, we talked so much about, like, oh, they should break them up, or will they break them up? Will they? Won't they? And I like how they did it at a point where it wasn't like a low point. It was another high point where they're the featured act again. And so it's actually significant. Like, that's one thing I appreciate, is that they didn't give up on this story or bury it. They just let it play out, because really, like, no one's going to remember all of the low points with the Judgment Day that, you know, we were talking about when they just sucked at different points over the last year and otherwise. Like, they're going to remember all of the stuff that you mentioned with the Twitter thread. Like, oh, remember this Easter egg? Remember that one? Like, remember that moment? Like, I think the cool thing about WWE is, like, they really are doing things in a way that, like, in retrospect, I think will look cool. And then you kind of forget about all of, like, the more boring stuff.
Yeah, I mean, when you're going on for that long, there's gonna be peaks and valleys, you know. But if you can get your highs higher than your lows, then, like you said, that's what's going to be remembered. So those are two.
Mari, you said something earlier where I was like, the philosophy, Mari the philosophizer. Look at that.
All right, so a couple more matches from SummerSlam.
Yeah, what else?
I'm trying to think about, like, what order, because the rest of it is kind of like, okay, whatever. I'm gonna go with this. Let's go with the stuff that was just like meh, and then we'll dive really deep into some of the deeper stuff. So for me, the Sami Zayn and Bron Breakker of it all, like, I don't know, like, I can't remember. That was one of the ones where I couldn't remember if I guessed that Sami would win or if Bron Breakker would win. I felt like I thought that Bron Breakker would win that.
Yeah.
But I think it's too early for him. I'm sorry. Like,
what? No.
I do. I feel like it's too early.
I feel you, but I think that your opinion would be different if we were covering it and watching it week to week in his build, because they did kind of just like hot shot him to the moon. But the thing is, he has been, and I've seen this on social media, like, people are like, oh, look how intense he is, like, look at his spears, like, look at all of it. So he is getting over with the fans. I actually never was really a fan of him, but I do appreciate how they're doing things with him now.
I was a fan of him.
I wasn't really. And I like that they're building him. Like, I like that they have the Steiner thing in their back pocket, slash they reference it, but he's not a Steiner, which I'm totally fine with, because those people are problematic. And he probably is too. Let's be real. It probably runs in the family. But you know what? Like, I feel like his intensity is good. And then the thing for me, the reason why I predicted that he would win here is just because they did just do this thing at Money in the Bank where he lost. So why have him lose again? But I want him to have a good, long, like, intense, dominant reign. What do you think is so early about him? Like, do you think it's a in ring thing? Do you think it's a character thing?
I think it's a character thing. That's my
Yeah.
I don't think he has a strong character other than he's related to the Steiner brothers. It's like, okay. And then he comes out, he like destroys people and goes back. Like, we've seen it. Like, we've seen it with Brock. You know, it's just like I just feel like he doesn't have a strong character.
But like, I mean, you said we've seen it with Brock. Like, that's true. Like, maybe again, like, I'm just thinking right now, based on our conversation with Judgment Day, like, how will this look in retrospect? And I feel like they want to build him up. Like, they had him as NXT champion in no time, and he was like dominating, leading the brand for so long. You know, in that era where Mandy Rose was also the champ and also like the one, except he was at the top for longer. So clearly they see something in him, and I just I'm curious what his trajectory will be. Like, for me, for my money, and we'll get to him in a second, but like, Bron Breakker, for me, is better than, maybe I'll regret this, Solo Sikoa. Like, what I mean by this is like his intensity, his like pace in the ring, I love. But I also just love, like, he has the fire. Like, he doesn't have the character, but he has the explosivity that I don't see in someone like Solo, who also was coming up at around the same time.
This feels blasphemy because, like,
I know you're gonna get. I knew.
Because Solo has such a stronger character. His character work has been so good, like, astoundingly so. And he doesn't go in the ring every time because that wasn't his role. His role as enforcer wasn't going. It was just flatten people. To me,
it's interesting, though, actually, to think about these two, Solo and Bron, because with Bron, like, sure, they'll reference the Steiner thing a little bit, but they just have him doing his thing.
A lot of it.
They'll mention it a lot, but it's not like a core part of his character.
They were talking about it in commentary the whole time.
Yes, they were, but it's not like, oh, like, let's bring out Scott and Rick Steiner and have him wear the freaking like little like chain on the no. They're never showing up again in that company, as far as I know. So anyway, I hope not. But anyway, so like, for me, it's interesting that I really love Solo in NXT. But then when he joined the Bloodline, I kind of cooled off on him a little because I liked his like Street Fighter gimmick. And then he became like one of the Bloodline. Maybe part of my problem, Mari, is that the Bloodline for me it's never Bloodline.
It's never Bloodline.
It's never fully Bloodline.
I love this new tribal chief thing that he's been doing.
I think I like this now.
He's been so on top of it. And again, that's something that we will definitely like deep dive into.
You know what, though? Like, also, Solo, it kind of sucks because we had to see him like alongside Roman, alongside The Rock. So it's maybe like he just hasn't looked as good to me in comparison. Just maybe to give him a little more credit.
Interesting. I think he elevated. Like, I keep going back to that John Cena match. Talk about going.
The one.
But then that John Cena match was good.
Mari, they had his ass losing for like several matches straight after John Cena. They just kind of kept like having him lose and lose and lose. Yeah.
I don't remember him losing.
I do remember that John Cena win. That was a big one.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Then he they were, and again, this is kind of like the retrospect of it all, like where they kind of were sort of burying him after. Not in an intentional or big way, but he just like cooled off. Like we were saying with the Judgment Day, like they cooled off. I do like where he is now, but I need him to
mean,
prove himself to me. And I don't, sorry, me being petty, but, and I don't know why we're talking about Solo right now. I
no, we'll
brought him
talk
up.
about.
I'm
I'm about to
sorry.
go right now. Yeah.
Okay,
Like,
because I needed like something to like look different with him. Like I need him to not wear the shorts. Like something's off with how I see Solo, and I don't know what it is.
I don't know, like when he was wrestling with in the shorts.
Yeah, maybe it's the fact that like he hasn't fully, and I'll pull up photos of this.
Aren't they?
He hasn't like fully repackaged as the new tribal chief
Oh.
in the ring.
Oh, okay. Yeah, pull up photos so I can see.
Yeah,
So
please.
Solo did lose to Cody in an undisputed WWE championship match with Bloodline rules. Even though he had Tama Tonga and Tongaloa come out. Jacob Fatu, who we didn't talk about his debut, which has been amazing. I mean, that man is scary. I love how they package him as like a madman, crazy person. Like he's the werewolf. He comes out, the energy shifts. So it sucks that he got injured, and this is not a kayfabe injury.
Did they confirm how injured he is?
No, they didn't confirm how injured, but he was spotted wearing a walking boot after SummerSlam.
Oh, it was his foot. Well, you know what? That makes me feel, for whatever reason I thought it was his knee. I know he was grabbing at his leg, but that's rough. That was rough. And I watched that spot back, assuming he got, I'm guessing it was just how he landed from the splash onto the table. On
I
Cody.
think so too. Yeah.
Because that's definitely when he was feeling it. That's a bummer. Like that's a bummer.
It's such a bummer. He was like, look at that. Woo-wee.
Just, you know what? That's the thing that sucks about wrestling. Like you never know when it just, it's going to be the last moment for a little while. So hopefully he's okay.
Not too bad. Yeah, exactly. But this was a pretty like intense match, but it was capped off with Roman Reigns coming out. He just has a shirt that says OTC. He's Superman.
Did you know what that meant when you saw it at first? Immediately? How long did it take you? Did it take you like
immediately? I was like, oh,
okay, well, that makes one of us.
Yeah, I was like, because of the OC. Like, I was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, the original club. Like, ew. Like,
yeah, no. I mean, I was like, oh yeah, okay, original tribal chief. Got it. Cool.
Like while he was walking down, I got that like immediately.
I'm glad.
And he, didn't say anything. Punched Solo, cost Solo the match. They built him up for SmackDown. He came out on SmackDown, did not talk, just beat up Solo. Like,
yeah.
I don't understand how you say the bloodline isn't bloodlining when ever since the quote unquote Temu bloodline, thank you, Sarah, have been running SmackDown, there's been "We Want Roman" chants. When after 4 years, y'all were booing that man. Y'all were booing that man for 4 years.
Yeah.
And you get 3 months of no Roman and you're chanting "We Want Roman."
You know what? Yeah. I like the thing for me is I feel like now, like what we've seen even just in this last week with them, I really like. I feel like everything from WrestleMania to now has just been like the setup and the build. So like, and also I don't know. I feel like everyone's kind of seen this thing coming where it's like, okay, when does Roman come back to take what's his? So now I'm at the point, like my thing is, Mari, while in the ring, I'm not that excited for Solo yet. And again, like I'm probably holding him to the standard of Roman at this point. Like I love his like mafia boss type of thing with the bloodline, and
it's so fun.
I'm just pissed that Rikishi hasn't shown up yet, but
yeah,
maybe I need to get
he
over
wants
that.
to. I feel like
I wouldn't be. I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it.
And yeah, so I think it's very interesting. Like Roman is now babyface, but he hasn't said anything. So it's like they're like they're trying to figure it out, I think, because he's just coming back. He's beating up Solo. It's all cool. The new music is pretty cool. New music, new intro. And he's just been beating them up. He hasn't said anything. Paul Heyman we haven't seen Paul Heyman since they put him through a table, I believe.
They really
a few weeks ago.
That made me uncomfortable what they did.
It was very weird. Yeah.
He's a legend. How dare they? And he hung around with them.
I loved how scared he was of
Yeah.
Solo and all of that. That was very fun. So like they're doing a really good job of like hooking us, because I want to know what Roman's gonna say when Roman says it, and they'll probably not have him talk for like 3 weeks at this point.
Yeah, and I mean, I do like how now, like, they're extra elevated. Like the bloodline, again, I kind of felt like for a little bit they were, at least before the feud with Cody, they were spinning their wheels a little, or just getting, maybe they're just establishing themselves. And then with Roman here, like, it's interesting because, like, I don't want to see Roman across from anyone else but the bloodline. And then I'm also interested in what's going to happen with Roman and Cody, because
I was just about to say that.
it's, I mean, maybe we'll actually,
Cody,
they'll team together. Like, we'll definitely see them team together, right? You think? Or
interesting.
I just know it has to come. It's gonna come back around to it, and I don't know if they'll team and then Roman will turn on Cody or like what. But
I think for Cody, he needs to stay out of this.
Yeah,
which is, it's funny. It's like, Cody, you have the title, you have the belt, but you don't have the top spot on SmackDown. I'm sorry. Like, this bloodline storyline is still the top spot, and so like there's so many things, like Jay and Jimmy can come back, I think, to help Roman. Maybe Sammy's now open to coming back to help Roman. Haiku Leo, who we're not sure what his WWE name is going to be, maybe like a Talatanga is what they're saying, but Haiku Leo is
wait,
the
what
third.
are they going to call him?
Rumors are that they've trademarked Talatanga or something like that.
Vince McMahon would have never done the names like this similar, and I love that, because I'm just like, we'll get it. Like, we could follow. Like, it's okay if people have similar names, especially when they're in the same family. But like, yeah, a lot of Tonga in the names.
Because they're all. I'm pretty sure they're all. That's all Haiku's. Haku. Kid.
Do you think like the Tongan tourism board sponsors the bloodline?
The new bloodline, yes.
Yeah, there's just like, let's like get our name in there.
So, but that's who we thought was going to join before Jacob Fatu joined. So, I I don't know.
You know what?
Like, there's so many options, which I love. Yes, exactly.
What a beautiful way to to do this. Mari, isn't it funny? Like, back in the day, you and me would talk about like, oh, like they should put Naomi in there. Like, they should put Nia Jax in there.
Well,
like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why not?
Oh yeah, I thought you're gonna keep going.
No, I'm with you. But like, it's just they did something different that's just like very compelling and interesting.
Speaking of Nia Jax, Queen Nia Jax is now the new women's. Well, let me just make sure. Women's
title.
WWE Women's Championship. No, because it's like the world versus the women's.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what to call it. Yeah, but yeah, no, it's
Nia is now the new WWE Women's Champion on SmackDown. So, I mean, I think this was probably the most surprising one for me.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so go get into it.
Sorry, yes, just because Bayley at SummerSlam, Nia pins Bayley. She got this opportunity because she won Queen of the Ring. Basically, every title on the show switched hands except for Cody's, I believe. And so Nia wins, and I was a little shocked. I'm not gonna lie. Because I just feel like Bayley just got the title. It was just a reward for her, everything that she's been doing. And she didn't have, like, this Nia feud was the only like real feud. Up until this, she was like having a friendly feud with Naomi. Like up until this, she was like the Naomi, Tiffany Stratton, and Bayley feud was really good. I've heard rumblings that originally they were gonna run with the Bayley versus Naomi feud, and that like a lot of like story plot points were there because, you know, when Naomi came back, her and Bayley were like, there's a lot of plot points to support a Bayley Naomi feud was coming. But then they said the reaction that Tiffany got in Toronto may have had them pivot to Tiffany because a lot of people were speculating. I don't know. Like, I don't know. There was, what was it?
I don't remember.
Was it a PL? Money in the Bank was in Toronto.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, Trish was there, right?
Yeah, Trish was there. So people were speculating that Naomi was supposed to get Money in the Bank. But they pivoted to Tiffany, which if so, that just
you know what? I mean, it's like
because since then Naomi hasn't done anything.
It's a chicken and the egg situation. Like if you don't do anything, like people are gonna be into Tiffany Stratton. She's talented, she's athletic, she has a character that's like pretty well defined, but she's also like, you know, the typical blonde kind of like Barbie type of physical look, at least. So I mean, I get people being into her, but like give divas a chance, give Naomi a chance, like give her it is kind of unfortunate. And I still believe that they'll figure out what to do with Naomi properly. But I imagine, Mari, that Naomi and Bayley wanted to work together and they just didn't get that. They haven't gotten that opportunity yet.
Exactly. And when they did, it was really good. So now Nia, it's like Nia and Tiffany are buddying up to each other because Nia gave Tiffany her pink briefcase. It, you know, so she wouldn't
cute.
They literally did this all just for toys, didn't they?
Yeah, this is literally from the WWE shop page. So it's funny because I remember at the Money in the Bank press conference, oh my gosh, Mari, we haven't talked about this and we won't get into it now, but that was the one where John Cena announced that he was retiring. And then I know you weren't watching the press conference, which I'm thankful for you for that. But like John Cena decided that he was going to make his 10-minute segment into 30 minutes. So he was just like there answering questions. And they were like, "Sir, John, like we need you to go. We need other people to go on." But like Tiffany comes up after him and she's answering questions. And she was like, "I just want a nice, pretty pink briefcase, like with glitter and bedazzled." And they actually made it. I was worried they were not going to like actually make her the custom briefcase, but
must be nice since we're still sitting here waiting for the custom glow belt, but whatever. Whatever.
I didn't, I'm sorry.
So sure.
We'll get there one day.
Again, it all feels a little soon. Hopefully she holds the briefcase for a minute because she helped distract Nia, helped distract Bayley, so Nia will win. Why you would want Nia to be the champion when you're holding the briefcase makes no sense to me, but sure. And on SmackDown, she's like planning Nia's like celebration. So she did have a run in here with Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, which is weird. So I'm like, is she supposed to be a good guy? She's not a good guy to me,
but
they're
all bad. They're all bad.
They're all bad.
Not team bad, but they're all bad.
So and then I'm not even going to get into the Bianca and Naomi and Jade of it all.
No, but it is, you know what? It is interesting that they did go with you know what? To me, it makes sense that they have Chelsea and Piper across from Nia and Tiffany.
Oh my god!
Yeah, because she's so good, and so they had to find.
I would have
some way
wanted
to
her
put
to
her
have the belt, Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank. Yeah, and I like how she keeps bringing that up. Cha-ching, cha-ching, so Chelsea. But no, I mean, here's the thing. Like WWE is so much different than they used to be with characters. Where I almost feel like Triple H and their people are like, oh, like how would Chelsea interact with, Nia and Tiffany? What would Chelsea think? Like, and it doesn't need to be a babyface heel thing. I do feel like Chelsea's just the goofy heel. And then you have like Tiffany, who's weirdly still gets a babyface reaction, but she's a like stuck
don't
up heel, and
understand.
then Nia's more like a delusional but also monster heel. Like it's all different flavors of heel, which I think makes it still a little interesting to see them up against
Yeah.
each other.
The only time I was like even moderately interested in Tiffany was when Pretty Deadly came up to her, and I was like, whoa, if they kind of put her with Pretty Deadly, that would be actually very funny. Pretty Deadly came up there. They said, yes, girls.
Yeah, I know. I know, and
It was
it's
so
funny because
funny.
that scene was hilarious to me where it starts where like Tiffany is talking with an event planner, like, here's what I need, and then she's like, no, I'm just gonna do it myself, right? And I'm like,
Mm.
wow, she's a party planner like that. I didn't know she had all those skills because her gimmick was like the stuck up, like daddy's girl.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I don't like saying daddy, but
Mhm.
daddy's girl. And you know what? Like she's planning whatever for Nia, so good for her. But I really thought that Pretty Deadly would end up being the party planners.
Me too.
Why not?
That
It
they
seems
are
like their
so funny.
thing.
They're such a fun act. I want more for them. But
They
anyways,
have a good, what a great character, great couple of characters, I guess.
yeah, it's so good. But so Bailey's not the champion anymore. What like she
Yeah, what
wasn't on
up? What?
SmackDown. So what happens for Bayley? Like, is Bayley gonna go take a break now too? Like, I don't know. I don't know.
I again, I feel like it's weird because we just had the whole Bayley started the year with the damage control storyline, which was like
Mhm.
pretty hot, and then she wins, and then what did they actually do with her?
Exactly.
Um, God, so
I trust
sorry, in the chat, going back to Pretty Deadly, Sarah says
it's
if we
good.
don't get a Pretty Deadly the musical, we riot.
I
So
agree. Pretty Deadly the
gosh,
musical would be so funny. They are so
bring it,
fun. Oh my
yeah,
god.
they really are.
They remind me, shout out to the Maximum Male models over there, like Mansoor. They're over on
Yeah,
AEW, like killing it. Eminem collection. Like,
so
why can't
weird.
why can't WWE like capitalize off these flamboyant characters? They're so fun.
You know what? Also, just in passing, I'm at Hurt Business. Like, come on, you
Right.
can
Her,
figure out what
yeah.
to do with them either. You know,
Well,
some acts they just don't know how to really
they don't.
use, even though very different act. But why
But
not?
the Profits just won their first match for the they're one step closer to being the number one contenders for the belts for the tag titles. Them and Brianna BFAB. I was about to say her whole government name on here. Oh my god. BFAB, they're over there.
I know. Now I'm tempted to say her government name, but it's
I was literally LA Knight and Logan Paul fought. Fuck
yeah.
Logan
What did you
Paul.
think about? Yeah. Well,
Happy
you
for
know
LA
what?
Knights fans.
Yeah, I'm assuming you predicted that LA Knight would win
I
this
did.
one. Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
I'm
It
trying to
felt
remember
right.
what two I got wrong.
Oh, I can't
They
really
said I
think
got
too
two wrong.
wrong.
As I was watching, I was like, oh yeah, I'm winning all of this. Maybe the Drew and CM Punk.
You know what though?
I think I got that one wrong. I think I said that was gonna be a draw.
I just want to give, here's the problem. My problem with LA Knight more than anything is that he has all these like you go in and you're like, oh, or not. So, wow, not LA Knight. Damn, I meant Logan Paul. My problem
Okay.
with Logan Paul more than anything is that you show up to the match and you hate him, and then he does some weird, like he does some wild
Oh yeah, like
thing.
some really good
He did that springboard
springboard
moonsault,
off the
which
top rope.
I was not ready for it, and
No.
I watched that. I just had to keep hitting like 15 seconds back, hit 15, just to watch it again
It
and
was beautiful.
again because I'm like, are you okay? Like, why are you doing this? Are you insane?
And not only was it was there a twist in there
There
somewhere?
was a twist. He
Yeah.
jumped up onto the top rope and in the process flipped into the moonsault, which I'm just like,
Yes.
I would love to see most wrestlers do that. Like he's really bold, which I mean, I guess we know that already from all of his problematic stuff, but I'm always impressed with him in the ring, you know.
I truly hate having the caveat like you're a horrible person, but you're also really good in the ring. Like I'm sick and tired of saying that. Like
yeah.
And then he brings out MGK, which I'm like, oh my god, just all these annoying.
Yeah, I didn't need any of that personally.
Like,
because it's always the goofy, like those people, the celebrity cameos they have are always just so goofy. Like the little Logan Paul type of cameos, I should say, are always so goofy because people seem so out of place. Like everyone seems so out of place when they're there for
pushing Prime. It's such a nasty drink. I just, yeah, I'm very glad.
You've had Prime?
No, I've heard from an inside source that it's not good.
Yeah, these people are weird. All these influencers and their foods, they're not good. They don't know how to make food or drink.
So I'm glad that he's no longer the champ. He's only defended it 7 times. Now, you know, now we don't have to deal with him. He can go be problematic somewhere else. And good for LA Knight. Like I'm really excited for LA Knight, you know, that I'm excited for his fans. I say that all the time. I'm excited for his fans, everybody who's wanting him to reach this, you know, this milestone. And now I want to see what he can do with it. They did on SmackDown. There was a number 1 contenders match for the US title, I believe. Santos won it, I believe.
Yeah. And they had a little showdown.
Yeah, because Melo got in the way of Andrade. So, which they should do. They need to do a Melo and Andrade like best of 7 series. They've been having like matches. They've had at least 2 matches. I want to say maybe 3. Maybe I think it's at least 2 matches on SmackDown. And Andrade's won them all, I believe.
Yeah, Melo's kind of been in the. I feel like Melo's in a spot right now where they're not like fully.
They're like half pushing him because he was in the main event when he first came in. Exactly, he was the number 1 draft pick.
Like, there's kind of like, but he's on hold, I feel like. But he's still doing everything really well. It's just that it's not weird. His moment. Like, actually, you know what? The LA Knight title win gives me so much hope because we saw him like get super hot in 2023 and then he cooled off and then they came back to it. So I'm hopeful that like when it's Melo's time that they'll come back to it. I don't know what. Yeah, that's I'm sure we'll talk about that at some point. Hopefully Melo's on some of these premium live events too that are coming up in the future because
I hope so.
I need more.
And finally, we all talked about CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, and the special guest referee Seth Rollins. This match was so good. Mine is like the wrestling on CM Punk's part. I'm sorry, y'all. That man is old. He did a halfway decent job. Like, I think what got me through this this match was all of the psychological storytelling within it between Seth being the referee, them going back and forth, the bracelet thing before the match.
Wow.
Drew took the bracelet that had like AJ Lee's name and their dog's name from CM Punk, and he wore it to the ring. So the like half the match or most of the match was CM Punk trying to get that bracelet off of Drew McIntyre's arm.
How do you feel about that? Like CM Punk being so.
I loved it. I'm not gonna lie.
Into the bracelet, like
it was good. It's like
because it's weird because he, in one sense, I agree with you, I guess, but it's funny because
it's so
CM Punk, like, is he the one who cares or does he not care? Like, he seems really invested in that.
He cares about AJ Lee.
Yeah, I love that she's in a storyline now, and Larry too. Larry, who was all in Brawl Out, you know, biting people allegedly.
Yeah.
Like I love that they somehow went. I mean, especially Larry. Like Larry went from like AEW to WWE. Like impressive. But AJ being in a story, ooh, it feels so good. It feels so good. And I hate that she actually has a life outside of wrestling because she could come back any day.
You hate
Like,
that she has a life.
I do, because she's just too talented. Like, I wish she was less talented in other ways so that she could just be in wrestling. But I'm happy for her. It's probably for the best.
It's so funny. And Sarah says apparently a fan made that bracelet for him. Which is great. Yeah.
Interesting.
I
wait, a fan? Is this the? I don't know if this is like the official bracelet.
No, not that
pulling
one.
it. Okay, so I don't. A fan made him his bracelet for his
It's a
dog
bracelet
and
with
his
like
wife.
stars. Yeah, it has like stars. It's blue and it's orange. And it has
I need a
AJ's name
close-up
on
of
it,
it.
and it has Larry's name on it. And I think they did a good job of at least like covering for Punk for like what he can and can't do in the ring. So focusing on the bracelet like made sense. And the part in the in the match where he finally gets the bracelet off of Drew McIntyre's hand, he can finally concentrate on the match. He hits the go to sleep. He's about to pin him, and the camera angle on like Seth about to count it, but the bracelet is in on Seth now. That was so hilarious to me. Like, I was done. I was like, this is how you tell an in-ring story. I don't care. Like, people want in-ring storytelling based on moves. No, have it based on a bracelet. It's so funny.
It is hilarious too. Like, when have they ever had anything? They literally have never had a bracelet as a centerpiece in a storyline. But I like it.
Like, what? Huh,
yeah, it's so it is hilarious to me though, because I just would never have like guessed that a bracelet would be so important to CM Punk, but I love it. Like, and you know, to your point about his in-ring work, I think that I would like to think WWE had a conversation with Punk where they're like, look, don't jump. don't do anything that like, don't do very little wrestling. Don't do too much. But like he's just so injury prone that anytime that he has a match and gets out of it without an injury, I'm going to be happy for him, because this was his first singles match. Like, he only really had the Rumble. And then before that, he had a house show match with Dominic in December, I think, in New York. And so just like keep him healthy. He obviously, like, he did such an amazing job. Punk and Drew, and that storyline was so good while Punk was injured. I loved that. I thought they were able to keep the momentum going really well and keep it fun. That's actually part of why I thought Punk would lose here, because he's just been getting like W after W after W with like Drew. So just keep that man healthy. I don't want to talk about his injuries too much, but Mari, like, do you think he'll be okay and stay healthy for?
I do. I do, because it looks like it's transitioning to a triple threat on Raw. CM Punk came out. I get it. People think he's the face in this story. I don't care. I love Drew. Sure. Absolutely love Drew McIntyre's work. It's so good. The biggest hater of the year award to Drew McIntyre. But CM Punk comes out, cuts a babyface promo. Seth comes out to interrupt him, because Seth is like, hey, I'm back. I didn't forget that not only before I got injured, I hated you because I don't want you in this company, but now it's time for us to go at it. And then like Drew's like, no, but I kind of hate CM Punk more. And it's like a race of like who hates CM Punk more. It's just so good. I love it. I think it goes into like a triple threat. But then again, after CM Punk and Drew McIntyre run off, Big Bronson Reed comes out and hits 6 of those tsunami things.
Oh, good, you counted, because I was like, I was losing count. The dives from the top rope.
Yeah.
What do you? Come on, help me. What?
I'm sorry, but what? I don't care. Like Bronson Reed that was like that went over like a wet fart. in that arena.
Well, okay,
Like
they
Baltimore
were
did
like
not
people were
care.
they were into it in the way that they'd be into like anyone just hitting a move, like hitting a finisher again and again.
Exactly.
And they were actually cheering. Like that was the wild thing. They were cheering him, not like crazy, but they weren't booing him for doing it like they should have.
Which is not the appropriate response.
It was like the do it again, like
Exactly.
So
Which
why
means
though?
like when he came out and he started attacking Seth, everybody was like, oh, like it was just stupid. Like, I don't know. I'm sorry. Big Bronson Reed does not do it for me again.
No.
Just being big and mean doesn't do it. It does absolutely nothing for me. Yeah. And I was so annoyed with him and Sami Zayn feud. I was like, oh, thank God that feud's over. And now it's like, now him and Seth are gonna like feud. I'm like, damn it, stop giving him some of my favorite wrestlers. Like,
what? It was wild though watching Bronson Reed do all those splashes. I need these agents and these referees and these people to step it up. Like just pull his leg out from under him. Jason Jordan,
Spirit Squad.
Oh my gosh.
Kenny?
Yeah, I think that's Kenny. Kenny Dykstra, I think. And then Daivari in there. Daphne LaShawn is in there. Out. Jason Jordan.
I love Jason Jordan.
Low key, this I don't know why, but this is just one of my favorite things about wrestling.
This is a nice photo though.
Yeah. Where they just have all these people like who have backstory with WWE in the background.
Yeah,
it's cool, but no, like I need Jason Jordan next time to like actually do something. Like, sir, I love Jason get in the way.
He cannot get in the way. He's
pull a leg out, grab a chair, step it up. These people need to really, because they're just pretending to help. Come on,
yeah,
it needs to be more real.
So, I mean, I guess it's whatever. They'll probably face off at Bash or whatever. But I need the Seth, CM Punk, Drew of it all. I need that. I love that that's a non-title feud. Like, my God, because Gunther is over there with Randy, which is fine. It's great.
Sure.
Before we get into our shoot, Sarah requested that we talk about Odyssey Jones. Did you see this, Matt? Odyssey Jones came out to help the New Day against
yeah. Oh, yeah, we could talk about that.
I forgot. The only thing I want to say about it is this makes me sad because to me this means that Big E is like might be done. I don't even I'm really I don't want to think about that. I'm
not going to speculate on that part of it because why
it feels like it, right?
But it feels like that's Big E's spot.
That's Big E's spot.
And the part for me, hold on, let me pull up this other picture of Odyssey Jones. But the part for me that I don't really love is like, where is Big? Like, could you just put Big E? Is it too painful for Big E to be like out there with the New Day? Because we really haven't seen him.
If he can't take bumps, there's no point in having him out there.
No, maybe not like out there.
He's been doing
but
commentary.
Like, have we seen him on a show on screen with the New Day at all? Like, not really. Since his
have
injury.
We seen what?
We haven't really seen Big E on our screens with TV. The New Day.
No, because he's been gone. He's been doing the PLE like after the before shows or whatever.
Which I'm glad because he's so charismatic. But I don't know. I just like I'm used to. I don't know. It does make me sad too.
I feel like they were kind of like treading water to like wait for him to come back before they gave New Day anything, while also trying to keep New Day relevant. And then I'm thinking that they're like, well, we can't wait anymore. And he did. I mean, he said he's healing up well due to the stem cells, but he did say it is not where where they had expected.
Yeah, like healing up well in what way? In the way that is healing up well for a normal person or healing up well for a wrestler. And you know what, Mari? Like, my thing here is that everyone's been talking about Big E. Naturally, you can't blame anyone, but we've been talking about Big E's return since he was injured.
Yeah, which
And
legit has been 3 years, right? It was like October
sure,
2021.
but like I'm also just I look at what gives me hope is looking at all of these other people, Daniel Bryan, Edge,
Yeah.
them being able to come back. Like I am Paige / Saraya. Like I do believe that he'll be able to wrestle again
It'll
one
just be a
day.
while. Yeah.
Yeah,
I hate
because like
this.
you know what? Maybe it's just me, but I can't think of anyone who had like a. Oh no, maybe a Jason Jordan's the answer to this.
Jason
Anyone who had like an
Jordan.
injury that couldn't
Damn.
return. That's a bummer.
I hate this. Now I'm sad. That's
Yeah.
why we weren't going to include that.
Yeah, Sarah. No, thanks for asking
No,
about
thank
it
you.
because I'm
Yeah.
glad that we could talk
I'm
about it
so
a
sad.
little, and we'll see what they do. Like, I just would like to think that the current creative could read the room and understand that people are going to be just thinking about Big E. So,
Yeah.
I mean, at least having a way of giving Big E seal of approval, or like, damn, it would have been nice to have Big E come out if this is really going to be a thing and introduce Odyssey Jones. Like,
Yeah.
that I think would have helped, but it just feels like they're stepping out on Big E, Mari. Like, I don't like it.
Yeah. I'm just glad he's healthy and all that, but still, I can't believe like you said, wrestling is so crazy. Like 1 minute you're doing your thing and the next, like you haven't competed in 3 years. It's just.
Yeah,
All right.
like literally, it's insane. But that's like we appreciate that. Like a lot of the people who don't watch wrestling don't appreciate that. Like literally, that could happen at any point. So, shout out to everyone who's doing it for our entertainment, despite what could happen.
Yeah.
All right.
So let's get to the shoot. The shoot is any real life, unplanned, unscripted occurrence that happens in wrestling. For us, this is just for us to give flowers, air grievance, do whatever we want to do, talk about a topic here.
Can I tell you something really funny?
Sure.
I forgot what we were talking about in the shoot. So let's get into it.
You didn't have to. All right. Anyways.
What are we doing?
So for the shoot, we gotta talk about the Wyatt Sicks. Like I love like it's like the 6 SICKS instead of the 6. So we haven't got a chance to talk about the Wyatt Sicks because we've been off, but like just Bray Wyatt's passing, like just how hard that was, but to see like everybody coming together to like mourn him. WWE put out the Immortal documentary about him, and I think we got to talk a little bit about it, but Bo Dallas like stepping in, he was the Uncle Howdy character, him stepping in and taking over this stable, which is just amazing. Like it's the Funhouse characters finally come to life. It's stuff that we have been thinking was going to happen for years now that's finally come to fruition. It's sad that Bray's not here to see it. But Nikki Cross as like Sister Abigail, Rowan as the I don't even know if they gave them, because they go by their regular names in the ring. They didn't give them.
Yeah, I feel like they all have like their little things, and all of these like so we've been getting all of the different video packages and things from each of them, which have been cool. But so like they have, just reading this out, Bo Dallas is Uncle Howdy, of course. Eric Rowan is the Rambling Rabbit character. Dexter Loomis is Mercy the Buzzard. Joe Gacy is Huskus the Pig, and then Nikki Cross is Abby the Witch.
Abby the Witch, right.
Which I think is like the same thing, I'm assuming.
Yeah, but the Funhouse, it's all the Funhouse characters, and it's so good. The video packages for each one of them saying they're like kind of like the reason why they're doing that, like not reason why, but just like it's like that. The very amazing, one of my favorite horror movies, 13 Ghosts.
Oh.
It's a B horror movie. Have you seen it, Matt?
No.
It's so good. It's a movie called 13 Ghosts, and literally there are 13 ghosts trapped in this house. It's a great movie. Go look it up. Matthew Lillard is in it. Rod Digga is in it. It's the early 2000s.
Shannon Elizabeth.
Yes, B horror movie. It's one of my favorite horror movies. And I had it on DVD. But my favorite thing about it is there are 13 ghosts in this house, and this house is a trap for these 13 ghosts. And each ghost has their own backstory. And on the DVD, they each had their own video package about why, like how they got into it. It was so good.
On the
And
DVD.
that's what, yeah.
Wow, this is deep. They have deep lore.
It's deep lore. And
they have and all
so
the ghosts have
good.
names and
They have
characters and are
names.
played by people. Like I'm reading the firstborn son, the torso, the withered lover, the pilgrimess, the dire, the jackal, the juggernaut.
Yes.
What?
You gotta go watch it. If you haven't seen that movie, you
I
gotta
need
go
to
watch
find it.
It's so good.
Wow. I've never even heard of it.
They each had their own backstory, and that's kind of what it felt like they did for the Wyatt Sicks. Like each week they would debut a different video package explaining why. Like Eric Rowan was talking about how his family is gone and it kind of broke him. Nikki Cross was like, they lied to me about, like, I think like her pushes and stuff like that and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's the thing that I think is so interesting. Like in the one, who was in this one this
in
week
Huskus?
that we watched? Yeah,
this one was Joe Gacy.
Yeah, Joe Gacy. I feel like a similar vibe where I'm like listening to him, and I kind of feel like I had to decode because I'm like, are you talking about not getting a push and being lied to in that way, or
yeah, because he was like he was the believer, they didn't believe, like, because Joe Gacy was ahead of that kind of cult like stable in NXT, and he lost all his followers there. So
yeah, I love it, and I mean I also appreciate how so much with the storyline around all of them is that like they're one, like Bray is front and center. It's not like they're just referencing him or they're pretending that like he didn't pass away or that he didn't, plant the seeds that he did. Like they literally just showed the thing where they're like 11 years ago and they showed Bray Wyatt coming onto the scene. And I also appreciate, and I think I'm sure I've heard them like even use this word, but like they're talking about grief, like they're making space to actually honor him, which I just feel like I have to imagine that that's like good for the wrestlers, that they're not expected to just move on and pretend like it didn't happen, or like not reference him or like slightly allude to him. Like they're talking about him. And you said like it's sad that Bray didn't get to see it all come to fruition, but this is all, and it is obviously, we wish he was still with us, of course, but at the same time, it's like this is birthed out of the loss of him. And I feel like there's something really beautiful about that. And I love that Triple H and WWE now could actually like have deep storytelling like that rather than the weird, creepy, cringe stuff that we've seen other times around people's passings or them just like forgetting people and moving on. So this is amazing. And it's like over the top. It's not too over the top in like a weird way or goofy way.
Bo Dallas had a video package where he was sitting down. Was he talking to Michael Cole? I can't remember, but it was like,
I feel like
it was so intense. Like it was so intense talking about losing his brother and like I was like, wow, like I was blown away. And it's
and that they did like that, they had that on their screens, because I don't know why. I'm not going to reference the specific person because it's someone we don't like, but there's someone who was with WWE who I remember she was talking about like wanting to do a storyline or something where she was talking about addiction and the like, and like WWE didn't know how to do that properly, which I think was true, but I just feel like now it's a different WWE where they can tackle more serious topics without feeling weird about it. So I'm so on board with this for the wrestlers more than anything, and then secondarily for our entertainment and for us, you know.
Yeah. Okay. The Wyatt Sicks, amazing. I can't wait to see where that goes. The only thing, but
Oh no.
But the funny thing is, the only thing that is kind of weird is they gave Dexter Loomis those faux locks, which is kind of funny to me. I'm like, no, okay, like I don't know.
was looking at him like I wish I could place who he looks like. Oh, you know who he looks like? Okay, wait. So first of all, you talking about his hair. Let's just let's acknowledge. You said that they gave that to him.
They had to have, because like,
You don't think he gave that to himself?
I don't know.
Maybe that's his thing.
It's very interesting.
But he reminds me visually of, and I don't even know if you know this person because he was such a flash in the pan.
CJ Parker?
Oh, damn. That's another good one, Mari. Even better pull. CJ Parker.
That's his real hair. Stop it, Sarah. I
mean, it's not his real.
I don't think that's his.
Let's be
like
real.
Sarah.
You know, let's be
There's
real.
some extensions in there.
Oh, but wait, it's funny that you said CJ Parker because when I Googled his name, Pamela Anderson in Baywatch comes up because I guess that was her character's name. So it's like mostly pictures of her.
Of who? What's the name?
CJ Parker. That was
Parker.
Wait, that's so wild. So yes, you're right. Juice Robinson is what he's known as now. But he was CJ
that's
Parker
his
with
NXT. Yeah,
he was CJ Parker with the little braids. But no, I guess that's the same name as Pamela Anderson's character in
that's funny.
Baywatch. So yeah, they had like that
he was
going
CJ
on.
Parker in NXT. Yeah.
But I was gonna say Kazarni. Do you remember Kazarni?
Oh yeah, Kazarni. Yeah, he's the wrestling.
Like could have been a bigger character, but just like to me, that's who I thought. I was like, why does this guy look so familiar? And so just like
that's funny.
You know what? We'll go whatever. Yeah, but I think it's fine, Mari.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. So let me just give out the results of the. Oh, I gotta go. I can already hear the baby crying.
The wrestling RHAPup Wrestling Federation.
Yes.
What happened?
Okay.
Wait, are we starting from the bottom of the card and going up?
Let me see. Because of course it's not pulling up on my laptop, so I got to pull it up on my phone.
The tension is here, but wow,
so
there
were
results. A lot of great matches.
Yeah, let's go from the bottom of the card. So, Way West Jr. beat Beth freaking Collins. Wes went. Well, shout out to Wes Macon. He's out in Madrid, I think. Shout out to him.
Oh damn.
Yeah, he went 5 for 7 to beat Beth freaking Collins. Brock B, the Wonder from Down, beat the Wonder from Down Under, Kelly Moore.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kelly. She was in the chat earlier today. He also went 5 for 7. There was a lot of 5 for 7s because I know I went 5 for 7. And this is what kills me. Kevin King beat me because he was the only person I think who he was the only person to guess every match correctly.
Spoilers.
But I
an insider.
I saw me out.
Insider training.
I saw me out, Matt.
Why?
I saw me out because I'm about to cut a promo. I saw me out.
Okay. Oh wait, hold on. Just you,
yes.
Just you.
Come on.
Okay.
Come on. This is
okay.
That was supposed to be way cooler, but anyway.
Wait, do it again. Do it again.
Camera on me, Matt. Kevin King. I saw your promo before. I saw your promo begging Grace for this match. And yes, I lost it this time, but I am coming back. You have become a speed bump in my way to becoming a 3-time WRWF champion. I'm the only 2-time champion here. I've had a little bit of a losing streak, but that turns around next PLE because I am challenging you again, Kevin King, to a match, but this time I want it to be a 3-on-3 match. You find 2 people, I find 2 people, and we're going head to head. All right. and we're gonna win. And I'm challenging Grace that whichever team wins, we then get a shot at a number 1 contenders match. Okay, for Sarah's belt. All right, I got to read the rest of the results.
Okay, but
yeah,
I wish I could volunteer to be one of your 2 people, but I don't actually know who's going to be chosen as the 2 people. And frankly, I want to get my championship.
You are nowhere near the. Anyways, we'll see where once Grace. We'll have Grace set out the championship matches, and then whoever's available who's not in the championship matches, me and Kevin will choose from them.
You know, honestly, you can choose. That's the beauty
All
of
right.
the league.
So
who's next? What's next?
Maserati Matt Scott beat Ari Ferrari.
Which, let me just say, Ari
You
Ferrari.
went 6 for 7, Matt. Good for you.
You know what? Let me tell you something.
Oh God.
Ari Ferrari. We've been down this road together many times. We go way back. 3 years to Survivor Philadelphia, where you and me, we're bros, we're buds, we're Heart Tribe members, we're in it together, we're in it to win it. And then I voted you out, and you sold me out. I thought we were bros, I thought we were in it together, but you know what? This past week at the RHAPUp Wrestling Federation, I proved that a Maserati beats a Ferrari every time. So I will take you on again. I will take you out again, because every single time, Ari, I will be ahead of you. I will beat you, and I will be your next. I guess I'm not going to be champion again, Mari. I didn't have much ready there, but nice promo. There we go. Fun stuff. Ari,
you
did
and
a good
Ari
job.
can't take yourselves off the table of being with me and Kevin.
You think that we could coexist?
Well, no. Hopefully.
Oh, you mean like opposite each other?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Anyways, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm better than him, so it's good.
Chris Pettis, the Raven Lunatic, beat out 4 other competitors in a 5-pack challenge. Ashley B, Big Time Steph, Fox Knox, and Max Ehrenstein, who might have accidentally forgot to put his name on his thing, but it's fine. Chris Pettis won that. The ace of the game, Mike Edwards, beat the Charging Rhino, Matthew. It looks like theirs was the lowest scoring. Mike beat Matthew by going 4 for 7, and
Damn.
Matthew went 3 for 7. Yeah. And then Ryan Hockley, the champion, beat Grace Leader to retain the WRWF Intercontinental Championship. Yeah, Ryan went 5 for 7.
Go Ryan.
Ryan has won 8 times in the WRWF.
I don't know how do people do that, because it comes so close. Like it
comes so close every time.
I don't know if I don't remember who won Money in the Bank last month, but like that, like we come so close.
We come so close.
But that,
I know.
Yeah. Congratulations to Ryan.
Yes. So he's the Intercontinental Champion. So maybe
he should be the world champ. I'm just
exactly.
saying.
Well, speaking of which,
wait, I shouldn't say that.
Sarah Tronson Reed beat Billy Garcia, who is a champion who took the he didn't take the belt off of me. Somebody else took the belt
All
off of
I
me,
know is that in his debut match, which was at Mania, he beat me like a baby and hurt my feelings. But he's been on a streak ever since. I think this is Billy's first
loss.
His first loss. So Sarah having Billy Garcia's number
in his third title defense, man.
Yeah, no. You know what though? Impressive.
Very
I
impressive.
hate to see Billy taken. I love Sarah. We love Sarah. Sarah, I feel like our number 1 support. I just hate to see Billy take an L. That hit from Candice back in Cook Islands was way too hard. So
and that's what happened. Candice came out and helped Sarah. No. if you are totally confused about what's happening right now, we have our little quote unquote fake wrestling federation
Yeah.
in our Job Has a Squadcast Facebook group, where our the commissioner, Grace Leader, puts out a predictions questionnaire for each PLE. You fill out your PLE questionnaire, she books the matches, and whoever has the best prediction rate wins that match. It's been so fun in the Facebook group. We are like Matt said, we're gonna come up with some AI generated titles.
Yeah.
Or we still got to talk to the championship culture guys for a real title. They did say that they would design one for us if we wanted.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what? That's a great idea.
Yeah. So it's been a lot of fun over there. We're just cutting up clearly. So if you want to join that, you can join the Job Has a Squadcast Facebook group. Just reach out to either Matt or myself and we'll get you guys in there. Other than that, this has been amazing getting back to talk with you, Matt. Matt, what do you have going on other than just, living your best life in your
Oh, wow. And honestly, isn't that the big gift? Watching Big Brother, I did the Sunday night recap last week. So if you're behind on Big Brother and you're a few episodes behind, you could still check that out. That was a really fun one with Rob and Amon and David Bloomberg. So good keeping up with Big Brother, good season. But I feel like in the Survivor off season in a lot of ways, and just like still getting my Survivor fix. One, because we did the Pride Has Spoken podcast back in June, a lot of great new episodes, but we are still selling, if you go to robhasawebsite.com/store, these Pride Has Spoken buffs. Mari, we got buffs. Look at that.
Yes.
So we're selling those.
Give me one for free. Yay.
No, well, actually, you should pay for it because the proceeds go to a great organization. They go to a great organization called Point of Pride, which supports the trans community. So I'm excited, Mari, for you to buy a lot of those buffs and support.
I'm broke. I have a newborn.
And yet newborns also should support trans rights. So anyway,
yes, we should.
The Pride Has Spoken. And then I should also mention, speaking of that liar and thief, Ari Ferrari, who said that I cheated.
I know.
I cheated in the match. I don't trust him. I'll take him out. But Survivor Philly season 3 is now on. Survivor Philly 3, Now or Never. I'm not on the show. I helped executive produce it. Ari was on the crew. That's where our beef continued. But that's on YouTube. Check it out. If you need a Survivor fix, it is so well produced. Like, I helped with casting, but the storytelling and like it feels like real Survivor. Like, there are people crying. There's just like some real stuff on there. And so if you need your Survivor fix, check out Survivor Philadelphia. We're only a few episodes in. You can watch it anytime on YouTube, and follow Survivor Philly on social media at Survivor Philly, and follow me on the socials at Matt Scott GW. So that's what I'm up to, in addition to some other fun projects with RHAP that I'll be able to tell you all about soon. But Mari, where can the people find you?
Of course, you can find me on Twitter at Mari Talks Too Much. That's 2 like the number 2. I am talking basically nothing but Big Brother over there. It's been so fun. Like Matt said, I was on the round table a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to be on the round table coming up. So it's all Big Brother all the time. It's still fun if you don't watch or listen to Big Brother. Of course, me and Chappelle just wrapped up the Westeros kickback over on the recap kickback. We reviewed the whole season 2 of House of the Dragon only the way that me and Chappelle could. It was so fun. I can't believe it's over. 8 episodes. It's done. It's dusted. But you can go and watch it over on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/@recapkickback. youtube.com/@recapkickback to watch all of our funny commentary throughout the season of House of the Dragon. Of course, every Tuesday, me and Sarah Carradine bring True Crime Tuesdays to RHAP. We just dropped an episode with Grace Leader, our unofficial third chair here, talking about the Teen Torture Inc. A docu-series. I think it was on Hulu or something. I can't remember. It was interesting. Go listen to us talk about that. Honestly, I don't think you have to watch the program.
On HBO Max, if you want
There
to
you
check.
go.
I haven't checked it out, but
I
I'm
would not.
going
Don't
to.
check it out. Just go listen to us. Just go listen to us.
It seems like a lot. It explores the abuses at youth treatment centers. Okay.
Yes, it does. Yep.
Ah.
So go to RHAPhasAwebsite.com/crime feed in order to subscribe to the Crime Scene podcast. That's Crime SEEN podcast. Of course, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the reality TV RHAPups feed by going to RHAPhasAwebsite.com. We know reality TV.
Yeah,
you can.
we know wrestling.
We do know wrestling.
There.
Yeah,
just want to say that a lot.
If you haven't already, subscribe to our feed by going to RHAPhasAwebsite.com/wrestling feed. This is the best time or goodest time as any to sign up for the Patreon. Go to the RHAP page, sign up for RHAP Patreon by going to patreon.com/RHAP. I mean, so many things. We have the patron 5 for 5. We have patron Q&As for Big Brother. There's the slop is behind the patrons paywall. You can't get any of this good stuff if you're not a patron of RHAP. What are you doing? Go be a patron. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want, you can email us by going to wrestling at sending emails to wrestling@robhasawebsite.com. Again, over on the Job Has a Squadcast Facebook group, that's where we take most of our questions. You can follow us on Twitter at Wrestling RHAPup. That's at Wrestling RHAPUP, and use hashtag Wrestling RHAPup to join the conversation. Anything else, Matt, before we go?
No. Happy to be here. Happy to have everyone tuning in. Like we said, we hope to be back doing these streams for other PLEs coming up. So we'll let you know, obviously, in the Wrestling RHAPup group, as Maria said. Let us know. Reach out to us at Mari Talks Too Much, to like the number 2 at Matt Scotchy W to join the Facebook group. Nothing else really, Mari. Just repeating everything you've already said. Subscribe to our YouTube. You already mentioned that. We're good.
I think so. Yep. All right. So remember, wrestling is for everybody, but not all wrestling is for everyone. Peace.
Throw 'em up, lay it down just like Matt and Mari. Wrestling liver half up's gonna make it sorry. Feeling like The Rock cause I'm driving in Ferraris. And we coming every weekend, it's feeling like a party. Will Ric Flair, showing out like Bianca Belair, Best podcast, flush it in the air, Roman Reigns and we win it, don't care, No cap. Throw 'em up, lay it down just like Matt and Mari. Wrestling liver half up's gonna make it sorry. Feeling like The Rock cause I'm driving in Ferraris. And we coming every weekend, it's feeling like a party.